Hello and welcome to Tuesday's programme.
Coming up tonight between now and 6:30.
Good evening. The number of people sleeping rough in Plymouth is rising every year. That's the stark revelation from one charity in the city, which says the situation has been made worse by recent changes to the benefit system.
Last night, our cameras joined the evening soup run, which has been giving rough sleepers hot meals for the last 2 decades. It's been described by the homeless community as a lifeline. But even then, there are still many on the streets who say they would rather be in prison. Claire Manning reports.
On to other news now, and police have praised the actions of a motorist who helped stop a serious collision on the M5 between Taunton and Bridgewater.
The A379 has reopened between Slapton Junction and Torcross after some 500 tonnes of debris was removed following Storm Emma.
People living in Exeter are getting the chance to have their say on plans to improve air quality and to cut congestion in the city. The council... Next tonight, the news that we face being taxed more on chewing gum, crisps and takeaway packets as part of measures to clamp down on our plastic use.
The announcement came in this afternoon's spring statement as the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, announced a new consultation on how to cut down on single-use plastic.
Well, Cornwall is already leading the way in trying to reduce plastic use, with Penzance, Perranporth, Falmouth and Penryn all awarded plastic-free status. Well, our political correspondent David Wood joins us from Westminster. David, what does this latest announcement mean for the West Country then?
Well, today...
Well, as we mentioned, Cornwall is already on its way to trying to reduce plastic after the council approved the phasing out of single-use plastics over the next 2 years.
4 months ago.
So the views of people in Penzance there, and we're joined now by Natalie Fee, an environmental campaigner. Natalie, thanks very much for coming in this evening. We heard there's been a real change in awareness, hasn't there, about single-use plastic?
Yeah, it's absolutely
Important is it that something is done soon while it is in the public consciousness?
that actually we're going to make these changes anyway, and we'd really like your support.
4,000 kilograms of plastic pollution removed from our beaches across our region this year. That's a staggering amount, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's devastating because
Some people who are watching tonight who say, this is such a big problem, I don't even know where to start, or what is the point if governments aren't doing anything about it? Is it about making people realise you've got to start somewhere? It's the little bits that will lead to making a big difference.
yeah, I mean, absolutely, the little things, they add up, and you know, it only takes sort of the tap, you know, and that then becomes
Big changes to make them. Make sure you're using a reusable bottle. What else can people do?
also you can refill wherever you are and bring those things around with you, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. OK, Natalie Fee.
Next this evening, a Cornish charity that retrains racehorses is urgently seeking a new home for more than 20 horses as it faces eviction from its current site near Redruth.
Racehorse Relief has worked with horses that have previously competed at Cheltenham, but as the biggest event in the racing calendar gets underway, the charity now has 2 months to find a new home, as Grace Pascoe reports. You're watching ITV News here in the West Country with John T and Kylie. Thanks for joining us this evening. There's plenty more still to come on tonight's programme before 6:30, including when...
And after us, the ITV News continues with the national and the international stories at 6:30. Here's Mary Nightingale with the details.
But next tonight, the latest transplant figures in Devon and Cornwall have revealed a huge rise in the number of lives being saved thanks to organ donation. There are now nearly 2.5 million people on the organ donor register here in the West Country.
But there are occasions when organs can be donated by friends or relatives, and our reporter Rachel Bullock has been to meet one man now preparing for his 3rd kidney transplant, this time from his fiancée.
Best of luck to them both. Now, a Cornish project aimed at helping people affected by the Grenfell Tower fire is calling for tourism businesses to donate accommodation. Cornwall Hugs.
Time to turn our attention to sport now. There is a West Country derby taking place tonight. Exeter City are up against Yeovil. Our reporter Jeff Welsh at St James Park for us tonight. Jeff, both teams will want 3 points, but for very different reasons. Welsh at St James Park, thanks very much indeed.
Now, normally any spitting in class would be immediately frowned upon, but nearly 100 children in Torquay have been encouraged to do just that, all in the name of science.
Yes, lessons have been taken over by Public Health England with the aim of encouraging more students to pursue a scientific career. Richard Lawrence has this report.
It's weather time now. Bob's joined us. I tell you what, Bob, I enjoyed spring today.
Yes, it was. I'm glad you
Looks like
enjoyed a very spring-like day. Isn't it? Absolutely
lovely.
marvellous. So it's rather...
OK, Bob, thanks very much indeed. Now, before we go, let's give you a reminder of the main headlines here in the West Country this evening. And a Plymouth...
And that's all from us this evening. I'll be back, though, with the late news at the usual time of 10:30.
Now we'll hand you to Mary Nightingale as the ITV News continues. From all of us here, have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.